Hey everyone, and welcome. So picture this. In the Belgian town of Ninove, on a street called Dreefstraat, there's this building. And for most people, it's just a local spot, a place for meetings, community events, that kind of thing. But what if I told you that its walls hold the secret story of how modern politics in Belgium was born? Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. Uncover the hidden history of that very building. So if you were to walk into Dreefstraat 16 today, you'd find a really busy neighborhood house, what they call a buurthuis. And I mean, this place is always buzzing. One night, you might hear some amazing Django Reinhardt-style jazz. The next, it could be hosting a fiery political debate. The local stamp collecting club even meets here. It's the definition of a community hub. But the name on the front of the building is our first big clue, that there's way more going on here. The Liberale Kring, the liberal circle. Now, that doesn't sound like your average community center, does it? It hints at a past that was way more ideological, maybe even a little combative. Okay, let's get into it. That name is our key. It's our way in. It just begs the question, what in the world was a liberal circle way back when this building first went up? To figure that out, we need to understand what this place was originally built for. All right, let's jump in a time machine. We're landing in the mid-19th century. Belgium as a country is still pretty new, and the whole political scene is, well, it's nothing like what we have today. You can forget about big, organized national political parties. Back then, politics was super local, really personal, and people were just starting to group up around these big new ideas. And this, right here, is the concept at the absolute heart of our story. The kiesvereniging, which basically means electoral association. Think of these as the prototypes for modern political parties. They were these local groups of influential, like-minded citizens. You had the liberals on one side and the Catholics on the other, and they all got together to figure out one thing: how to win an election. Now, what's so fascinating about this is you can actually see politics getting more and more professional. So in 1846, all these little local liberal groups get together for the first time on a national level. Then fast forward to 1877, and the government starts making official ballot papers, so you're no longer just scribbling a name on a random slip of paper. And then the big one, 1893, when way more men get the right to vote. Every single one of these steps made the work of these local associations more important than ever. Which, you guessed it, brings us right back to Ninove. The story of Die Liberale Kring is the perfect case study of how this huge national movement actually played out on the ground, street by street. So let's see how it all happened right there. Our story really kicks off in 1857. That's the year the Liberale Grondwettelijke and Cantonale Associatie of Ninove was founded. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but this was the official group that would eventually build and move into the Liberale Kring as its headquarters. And get this quote brilliantly sums up what they were all about. Their official mission wasn't just about winning elections. No, it was this much grander vision. They saw themselves as defenders of the rights and freedoms in the Constitution, and they wanted to make sure that people who shared their liberal values got elected at every single level of government. We're talking from the local town hall all the way up to the national parliament. So how did they actually do it? Well, you have to understand, these were not just casual social clubs. They were basically sophisticated political machines for their day. They would pore over the official voter lists, legally challenging anyone they thought would vote against them, and fighting tooth and nail to get their own supporters on the list. They even held their own internal votes to pick one single candidate so they wouldn't split their support. And on election day, it was all hands on deck, even organizing wagons to get their voters to the polling stations, which could be miles away. And their propaganda game was strong. We know from archives that for the 1878 elections in Ninove, they printed these flyers that were designed to look just like the official ballot, showing their supporters exactly who to vote for. And get this, they even had a local liberal marching band called Forwards, or Forward, who wrote and played election songs. There's one from 1869 called Jean Berlaymont to his friend Pierre Lala. I mean, this was a full-on campaign. And all of that history, right? All of that strategy, that passion, all the arguments, it all happened inside the walls of Die Liberale Kring. Which brings us full circle, doesn't it? Back from this intense political past to its much more collaborative, friendly present. Just think about that transformation for a second. A building that was literally a political battleground, an HQ for plotting electoral strategy, is now a cultural meeting place. What was once a machine designed to mobilize one group of people against another has become a space that actually tries to unite the whole community through things like art, music, and open debate. It's pretty incredible. And that's really the key thing to take away here. The history of the Liberale Kring isn't gone. It's just evolved. The political debates they have there today are a direct echo of those secret strategy meetings from over 150 years ago. These little local circles laid the foundation for modern democracy. But as politics became a bigger national game, their original combative job was kind of done. Their legacy is literally built into the bricks of the building. You know, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you're walking around and you pass an old club or a town hall or even just a random neighborhood house, maybe take a closer look. Because you just never know what hidden histories are lying in wait inside the buildings in your town.